when I came back from the RAF, my previous employer, which was the United Steel Companies, or working in an iron and steel company to be precise, and I was in the mines and quarries area, where I was the caustic clerk. They were obliged to take you back. Whether they wanted to or not, by law they had to take you back. So that if you were called up and you had to leave your job because you were called up, that job had to be held for you for when you returned. So if they took someone on temporarily to fill that position, then and I had gone back, and the job had not grown, or let's say the size of the company hadn't grown, they would have had to find alternative employment because I would have taken first choice. I came back in late 1947, and I was demobilized on the 5th of November 1947, which happened to be, I think, a Friday. On the following Monday, the 8th of November, I went back to work, to the job. And I quickly came to the conclusion that that job wasn't going to satisfy me, and I had suspicions that it would not be there when I came to be 60, 65. So I was looking for employment which would keep me employed until I reached retirement age. I wanted to get some promotion in life as well, and otherwise I wouldn't have been going to night school to upgrade my schooling. If the war had not been on, the chances are that I would either have gone to work in the bank, or I would have gone to university. I wasn't able to do either, and in those days there was an organization called Sitting Guilds, and that was done through night school, but you were able to qualify as if you had been to university or college or whatever. At that time I knew Mary quite well. In fact, we got married in 1950, and we still continued to go to night school after we got married. Mary was taking chemistry, both organic and inorganic chemistry. I was taking shorthand typing, English and mathematics. So by 1954, I made a conscious decision that I was going to leave the United Steel Companies, and I applied for my one and only job that I applied for was with Albright and Wilson in Whitehaven, which was then called Marchon Products, where Mary was working. And I applied, I was interviewed, and I was accepted. And this was in November 1954, and I started my job on the 1st of January 1955 as assistant accountant and in charge of the mines and quarries area of Albright and Wilson Marchon division. So I was looking after the anhydrite mine, looking after the conversion of production of sulfuric acid and cement, and up to that point, and the rest of it then became Marchand Products, whereas this part was called Solway Chemicals. I did that until 1959. And in beginning of 1960, well, I'd been there then, 5 years, my salary had increased from the £8, 15 shillings per week, to about £20 a week. Whereas if I'd stayed with the United Steel Companies, it might have gone up to £9, 5 shillings, or £9, 10 shillings. So from a remuneration point of view, I'd taken the right steps. From a work point of view, I was doing even more work, but enjoying it and being rewarded for it. And then I was told that I was going to Italy, and did I fancy going to Italy? And I said, I don't know. But the managing director said to me, well, you better find out because you're going, you know. In those days, you weren't asked, would you like to go? You were told you were going, and you had to do. So in July 1960, I beg your pardon, we've gone on to 1960, Mary and I, my wife and I, went to Italy, and we stayed there until the beginning of 1967, when we came back. And my job in Italy was administration director and finance director, so administration and finance. But from 1960 onwards, it was very profitable, and we had special tax concessions because we were in a development area in the province of Mantova, in northern Italy, near Lake Garda, and as a result of the income that it was generating for the company and for the Albright and Wilson in general, we were able to create new manufacturing operations in France, Département de la Meuse, in Spain, in Alcover, which is, and also in southern Italy, where we were located about halfway between Naples and Rome, next door to Albright, to Procter & Gamble, who were one of our main customers. So by 1967, I was back in England. I did a few months in Manchester University, Manchester Business School, and then by beginning of June 1967, I must have been there 5 months, beginning of June 1967, I was admin director of Albright and Wilson Marchand Division. I continued in that, but I was not very happy working with people who were backbiting. And you know what backbiting is? When people are not treating you, they were showing their how can I call it, animosity, because I had been quite successful, and but I had got a senior position, and they thought that I got the position through false pretenses. So they were backbiting, and Eventually, by 1969, 1970, I decided I was going to leave the company.